Good morning, grommets and generally clueless skaters everywhere. It's the Dave here. Just making a little video on how to mod your old school vault trucks to make them a bit more stable. So if you have a look down here, we've got a set of old style Vault RKP reverse king pin trucks. These babies are pretty boss. They'll fulfill your skating needs for carving, cruising, a bit of downhill. Problem is though that the way these are set up, you got your kingpin. This is your kingpin, boys and girls. Got your kingpin actually going into the base plate. So we got hanger, base plate, kingpin. And the problem with that is that sucker can flap around a bit. Okay, it's a bit loose. And a tiny bit of wobble in that, you're going to feel that at 60 k's as the beginnings of death wobbles, and most of you probably haven't worked out how to shut them down, so you're going to die. So we want to get rid of that. What we actually want to do is we want to flip that kingpin and have a much more stable setup of having that locked into the base plate so that then you're actually clamping down the nut. So what we've got to do first is we're going to get rid of this bolt, this nut, which is actually embedded in the base plate. So what we want to do is you just screw that in till it's basically just biting into the plastic thread locking, and then you take your trusty hammer and you just belt that sucker out, which we're not going to do on the dining room table because that would be bad. So you just smack that out and you'll end up with that. It's been knocked out. Now that's all good, and we could put that kingpin in there, but it's going to flap around because you'll notice that there's actually a bigger hole there, which was where the nut was. So we've got to fill that with something to make it more stable. So what we do, grab a bit of aluminium tube of the right size. I don't know exactly what that size was, but I just went down to the hardware and got that, and take your kingpin to check the internal diameter size, and take your base plate to check the outer diameter size. Now that's a standard size, so you'll probably end up getting exactly what I've got here. Now we want to cut that to length. So you just take it, stick her in there, and then give it a bit of a twist. That gives you a nice line to cut to. Take your trusty hacksaw, stick her in a clamp, away you go, cut it off, and you'll end up with a piece like that. Now that will sit nicely in here and give that kingpin some more stability. The only problem is that that's still a bit loose. So what we can do is we just wrap some alfoil around that. I had some sticky tape here a moment ago. Just take a bit of alfoil, stick it on, start wrapping, go a couple of windings. Now we should have a fairly tight fit there. Looks really dodgy, sure, but it does the trick. So we're just going to pop that in, and that is now nice and tight in there. Classy bit of alfoil flanged around there. And you little ripper. Alright, that sucker's barely going to move. So when I'm cranking down my local hill at 60 plus, I can trust that I'm not going to get any jank out of the kingpin. Now when you're setting it up, I would suggest that you go with one of my favourite setups, and that is the Volt Red 90A roadside. We haven't got a washer, but well, maybe we do. Here we go. Okay, grab a flat washer from your hardware store, because cup washers give you less turn. 90A roadside. And a Volt Yellow 83A board side. And now the one thing you're going to have to do is get yourself a new kingpin nut. You can get that from a skate shop. You should be able to get one, because you're not going to be able to use that. It's useless. Alright, so you've got to find a new one. Order one from Hopkin. And that is ready to rock and roll. Alright. That is a stable, free riding, light downhill, even a bit of carving setup that's going to rock your world. Now I'm going to set it up on the custom 44 carver, and we'll take it out a bit later and see what she can do. Love your work. There we go, ladies and gentlemen, modified Volt RKPs running on a set of the beautiful Fudgelicious gummies. That's what it's all about. Over and out.